Welcome to the Brandon and Ryan Hour, the show for movies, television, entertainment reviews, and commentary. I'm Brandon.
And I'm Ryan. And today is our in depth review of Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning, Part 1.
Woohoo! Super excited.
Yep,
But
super
first,
exciting.
if you're new to the channel, we do in depth reviews of movies, and today it's Dead Reckoning. We're going to spoil the crap out of this movie for you. So if you have not seen it and you don't want us to spoil it for you, you should probably stop watching real soon. But after you subscribe and come back to the channel later and watch the full review. You can follow us on YouTube, Rumble, and Twitter. 1, 2, 3, yes. Yeah. Give us comments. Let us know how dumb you think we are. That'd be great. Or how smart we are. I don't know if that's a thing. But give us your recommendations. That's what we need. Recommendations for movies, television, comic books, whatever. Yeah. And that's enough of that. So what'd you think, Ryan?
Yeah, so, I really enjoyed this movie, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning, Part 1. So
this is the 7th one, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Tom Cruise brought his A game, still a great actor, and
still like one of the only
action
movie
stars.
stars.
Yeah.
Not even action, just movie
Just
star.
movie star in general. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's 60 years old and he's still
Dang.
like the epitome.
That makes me feel old.
But he's still the epitome of someone who cares about the craft and can still get out there, do his own stunts, which is impressive.
That's pretty impressive. I mean, it's not like he's out there without millions of dollars worth of safety equipment.
Right. But he is also jumping off of planes with just a parachute.
Yeah, but lots of people do that.
Okay. I'm just saying that's still pretty impressive.
It is. But I mean,
especially when Hollywood has moved to just CGI everything.
So much CGI, yeah.
And it's nice to see someone who actually still is like, hey, we can actually ride a motorcycle off a cliff or jump out of an airplane.
Yeah, and it's nice to like watch a movie and not go, oh, is that a stunt double?
Yeah.
Because most of the time, like I guess back in like 80s and 90s, it was kind of easier to tell when it was a stunt double.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was hard to do things. But like now, the way they do stunt doubles and CGI everything, and it's kind of hard to tell. But with him, you're like, okay, I know he's actually doing that right now.
Yeah.
Even if it's, I don't know. There's always CGI involved, but I keep thinking about the end, not the end. I don't know, the dirt bike off the cliff thing.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, we'll get to that.
Yeah, so I think he did a fantastic job. Haley Atwell did great as the character of Grace. I was a little confused as to her motivation sometimes, but I feel like she did a fine job, a good job as the actress. It was nice to see some returning people like Ving Rhames and Simon Pegg. Always a fun addition to the cast. So overall, I thought the acting was solid. The action was solid. Plot, kind of had a few issues with the plot, but overall, a great movie. A good time just to go watch a popcorn flick at the theater and shut your brain off.
Yeah. Just chill, relax, be entertained.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a 2 hour and 43-minute movie. Didn't feel like it at all.
No, not at all. It didn't drag in any parts, which is nice.
Yeah. The only time it felt like it was when I ran out of drink. And I was like, dang it, I cannot get up. There's too much going on. I was really annoyed by it. They should have like a drink inside so you don't have to go very far.
Yeah.
Or, I don't know. Or we'll have to go to one of those theaters where they have servants.
All right.
Anyway, so yeah, I really like the movie. Um, it's kind of nonstop, so which is kind of typical for the later Mission Impossible movies.
Hmm.
Um, and all of the, not all of them, but most of the elements that you expect in a Mission Impossible movie are there. And in just a general Tom Cruise movie with all of the running.
Yep. Yeah. Tom Cruise
Um,
absolutely loves to run
yeah.
and
Um,
ride motorcycles as well. Seems like every movie he's on a motorcycle.
Probably. I don't know. Never thought about it.
He is. Almost every movie he's in, he rides a motorcycle and runs.
Hmm.
Those are like his two staples. So
There's probably a few movies where he didn't ride a motorcycle, but or run, but they're probably very few. They're probably like early '90s movies or something
okay.
before it became part of his shtick.
All right.
So, all right, let's get into it. So you were talking about the returning cast,
Uh-huh.
or just the cast. So like Ving, Simon, Rebecca, Vanessa. Kind of. She was in The White Widow. She was in 5.
Okay.
No, she was in 6.
All right.
6. I don't
I
know.
don't
No,
know.
5. I don't remember anymore.
Okay.
Who else did they bring back? Oh, Kittredge. But I'm pretty sure we haven't seen him since the first one, maybe the second one.
Okay.
Um, did they bring anybody else back? I'm trying to think. Not that I can remember. Yeah. Anyway, so Grace, they introduced several new characters.
Mm-hmm.
And Grace's character, I don't know. I mean, she did the acting was well, but I don't
Yeah.
know how much I actually enjoyed the character. Same thing for Gabriel. And Carrie Elwes seemed out of place
Yeah, a little bit.
as Denlinger, but I guess I don't know. It's hard for me to see him in a movie and not think um,
Princess
Princess
Bride.
Bride or what's the other ones he's known for? Uh, dang it! What the heck? Why am
I
I
don't
drawing
know,
a blank?
dude. I have no idea what you're thinking of. But yeah, he did kind of seem out of place. Um, what, he was the director of intelligence or something?
Yeah, the deputy, like I don't remember. Defense something, Secretary of Defense maybe.
Maybe. Okay.
I don't remember. Anyway, he didn't play a big role, but all right. So, what did you think about the main plot?
So the main bad guy in the movie is artificial intelligence, AI, called the Entity, and it irritated me. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like it didn't. Movie opened up with a submarine, Russian
Yeah.
submarine, testing out some new stealth capability. And they set it up from the very beginning. Like they go into the room where the AI chip is, open it up, take a look at it, take it out,
2
put it back
keys.
in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Put it back in, close it, walk out, and you're like, okay, well, obviously AI is going to be the main bad guy of the movie. And then the sub picks up another, like, American sub that's trailing them, and they're like, that shouldn't be possible. We have stealth. And then I'm like, okay, so it's not actually there. But they played
Yeah.
it like it was supposed to be suspenseful.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, yeah.
and then
It's
one guy watching the radar is like, it's too far out. It shouldn't be. We shouldn't be picking it up this close. And then it jumps like 5,000
it
yards
jumps.
closer.
Yeah.
And they're like,
So
that shouldn't be possible. I'm like, yeah, because obviously your AI is malfunctioning. Stop falling for it.
so that's yeah.
But then they
Yeah.
go ahead and shoot off a torpedo at it.
They just yeah. Which didn't make any sense because we're not at war with Russia,
Yeah,
or didn't in the movie. They're not at war.
right.
They're just out driving
Testing out.
around.
Right.
So like, and they had said that they had been like sneaking
To
up on
on
other
military
people's
bases
subs
all over the
all
all
over
over
the
the
world.
world. Right.
Um, so why would they shoot at one just because they saw them?
Yeah.
That didn't
But
make any sense.
yeah, so anyway, they shoot at it, and then oh surprise, it's not there. And then the torpedo that they shot off comes back at their sub and sinks it. And I
And they're
don't
unable to
understand.
do the self-destruct.
Yeah, I don't understand. They didn't explain it in the movie, and it doesn't make sense to me. How did the AI go from the bottom of the ocean to taking over the internet?
Yeah, they see that's the thing. Yeah,
Did I miss something, or
they didn't explain that, but also they also kind of confused me when they were talking about like the Americans had an AI that infected the Russian subs AI,
Mhm.
and then that led to it becoming self-aware or something.
so
So it's
somehow
like
it
a
infected?
commingling of code, like
Yeah,
made it like come alive.
yeah.
Yeah, but how it
How it goes from a sub sunk at the bottom of the ocean to
yeah
able to get into any
can it
computer system in the world doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
yeah can it transmit from the bottom of the water?
I don't know.
Well, and that's the other thing that was kind of confusing. The only reason they were trying to get to the sub was because it had the original code
Hmm.
so they could overwrite it.
Yeah.
So I don't even know. I think like, they didn't explain it, but the only thing that makes sense is that they put the code on the ship and there was some kind of, you know, satellite connection, and then it became self-aware, but was also like connected. So when it sank that sub, it was already blasting itself out all over the place. And
Okay.
because it sank, that's why the original code isn't affected by the later upgrades to itself.
But yeah, so the entire movie, they're after Tom Cruise and company are after two parts of a key so that they can get to the submarine and get the original code out to destroy
Yeah.
the
To
entity,
destroy it,
this
the
AI.
entity. Yeah.
Um, yeah, so thought and they made the AI the main villain of the movie, which I thought was weak.
I don't think it's weak. I think
I think a computer program makes a weak villain because there's no motivation for it at all.
well, it's the motivation is always the same for computers. It's always to destroy the world because humans are evil.
I mean, again, that wasn't in the movie. It's just this computer program wants to wreak havoc for no reason. There's no intent behind it. It's just doing something.
Right. To destroy humans.
Again, it was never mentioned
Because
in the movie
it's
that it
part
wants
of
to
its programming was to like, I don't know, because it's military, so it's designed to fight and then it becomes self-aware, but it's still designed to fight. So they're always like, oh, it's analyzing everything. What's that? I was like, this from it reminded me of, oh, what's that movie? Hold
Again,
on.
I don't know. I'm not inside your head, so you actually have to
Good. If you
think.
were, you wouldn't know either. Um, it is called. Dang, was that movie that long ago?
Probably.
Yep, sure was. Eagle Eye,
Oh, okay.
where the AI is the main bad guy, and it's um, determined a threat and is trying to destroy it. Right.
Okay.
Um,
I'm just saying, I want the main villain of a story to have motivation for doing something, like a person out for revenge, a person who thinks that they can change stuff, not some computer program. Unless it's like the Terminator, because then there's a reason for what they're doing, not just, oh, it's an AI and it feels like doing it now.
See, I kind of get what you're saying, but I think the part of the problem with the bad guy is Gabriel,
Okay.
because the AI could just do everything by itself. The entity could do whatever it wanted to by itself. It
Uh huh.
doesn't need him, but yet it somehow finds him and partners with him to get the key that it doesn't need
Mm
to find the sub. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
hmm. Yeah.
So
Like, I think it would be a much more interesting story if Gabriel was the main bad guy and he was using the entity for his purposes, not a self-aware computer program is making deals with people and making them do stuff.
that would be better, or if it was just the AI,
Okay.
just the entity alone, and um, maybe it had some, like, there's always like henchmen that show up, but they're just getting online jobs basically. They're just douchebags for hire, and
Mm-hmm.
then they're like, hey, you know, the entity puts out a contract hit on Ethan,
Yeah.
and then they're after him. Um, but the Gabriel thing brings in this whole backstory that we haven't seen before
Mm-hmm.
in 20 years or whatever, however long Mission Impossible has been going on. Some lady, woman, I'm guessing, that Ethan had a relationship with, and then Gabriel kills her, and then he
Mm-hmm.
has to join IMF because if he doesn't, he'll go to prison.
Yeah.
This doesn't make any sense. Why he would go to prison because she got shot by Gabriel? Because it seemed like everybody knew that.
Yeah.
So
But yeah, then they also made it people join the IMF because the IMF is basically blackmailing them. Hey, you can either go to prison forever or join our top secret organization. Versus, hey, you've got a bunch of skills that we can use. You want
I
a
think it's a
cool
little bit
job?
of both,
Yeah.
because they have to have skills or they wouldn't just, yeah, we'll hire you. We need pizzas delivered. Like, they don't. I think you have to have skills
Right,
and
but they basically
motivation.
turned every IMF agent into a previous criminal instead of someone who just cares about the country and wants to do some good work.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, but I don't know. There's got to be some more to it. They got to finish up that story in the second one, because it doesn't make sense
Hmm.
why he would have to join the IMF or go to prison because she died. Like,
Yeah,
clearly somebody knows that Ethan did do it.
right.
Um, um, but it also kind of, um, like, the other thing, the mission, should you choose to accept it.
Hmm.
Like, I guess that kind of made sense. Like, why they always accept the mission, because they
Okay.
never don't accept the mission. They always accept the mission. Should you choose to accept it, is, yeah, you don't really have a choice.
Okay.
But also, you also have, like, it also kind of gives the IMF people personal motivation and not just general motivation, right?
Okay.
Um, do, 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 do. So I guess the main thing that I did not like in the movie is Ilsa
Okay.
dying.
Why?
Spoiler. Cause like I get it. It makes sense in the movie, but can the dude catch a break? Every single woman that's come into his life dies or has to vanish.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Why? Kill Grace. She just showed up. We don't like her. Like, I don't know. It was kind of annoying because you
Okay.
knew, like, uh, you knew once he gave the ultimatum, like it's her or her.
Yeah.
Or you're like, okay, it's got to be Ilsa because she's more. We have more emotional attachment to her, and so does Ethan.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be her. Um, but I don't know. It's just kind of annoying.
Okay.
She had to
But I
die.
mean, she went out like a boss, so
I guess not really.
I mean, that was a pretty good fight she had
Yeah, but she
before
could
it
have
ended.
shot him from 50 feet away.
Yeah, I mean that would have been smart.
You don't have to run up on somebody with your gun.
Yeah, I
Bullets
mean,
move across
it's a
space.
projectile that you have, so
Yeah, I was doing these. Yeah, I mean the fight was kind of. The fight wasn't unbelievable. It wasn't like she was like picking him up and throwing him and taking his punches to the face and things like that.
right.
So it was a good fight in that way. Um, and I guess it was an okay death for her, but I didn't appreciate it.
All right, that's fair.
Because I liked her character too, right? Just in general, like, because she's kind of on that same level with Ethan as far as being um tactical and smart and a capable
Mm-hmm.
spy. Um, all right. Da, 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 da. What else? So much happened in this movie.
Yeah, I mean it's just action set to action set, so it is a very quick-paced movie.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, you've got the sub scene. You've got the African desert scene.
Yeah, where
Um.
Ethan goes to find Ilsa,
Yeah, and then
and then they jump back to Kittredge and Carrie Ellis's character,
Dillinger.
Dillinger. Yep, having a meeting about the missing keys, and then Ethan shows up disguised as somebody else.
The mask.
Yeah,
Yeah.
classic Mission Impossible trope. Oh, look at
Yep.
somebody. Oh, he's got a very life mask on, imitating
Yeah.
somebody. And
And then when he takes the mask off and he's talking to Kittredge, gets all the information from him. He's like, "How do you expect to get out of here?" And he turns around and he's putting on a Kittredge mask, and he's like,
of course.
"Dang it, you're just smarter than everybody, aren't you?"
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, so
pretty funny though.
Kittredge and Dillinger both want to control the AI,
Yeah.
and Ethan's like, no, it has to be destroyed. So he's kind of at odds with the IMF right now. He's gone rogue again.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing that doesn't make sense about that is they made one AI that became sentient. They can make
Hmm.
another one. It's
I
just a
mean, technically,
program.
yeah.
You can always make another one that can become sentient.
Hmm.
You just have to, if it's actually sentient, which
All right.
stupid. It's not sentient. A program can't be sentient.
Yep. It's just ones and
That's all I'm gonna
zeros.
say about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's only as smart as it's programmed to be. It's just a puppet with a bunch of strings.
Yep. That is 100% correct.
But anyway, I'm gonna get off my soapbox because that's not. This isn't the AI soapbox. This is the Mission Impossible soapbox. Okay. Didn't they go to? Where did they go?
Yeah,
With the
so they
loot
go
car?
to the airport
The airport.
because Ethan's tracking down the other half of the key, and that's where Grace shows up and steals the key off of him because apparently she's a master pickpocket.
Mm-hmm. Well, so
Um,
is he,
eh,
and she is a world-renowned thief. So
that nobody has any information on.
no, they had all the information because he had a rap sheet. He was like, "You've done this, 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 and this."
It took him a while to pull up what she had done. Because when she first showed up, they were like, we have no idea who she is. And then, uh, Luther and
Yeah, because she's
Benji
not a
spent
spy.
time. Right. But it took them
She's just a
time to
regular
find the
person.
information. Right.
Yeah, because they had to look outside of their spy resources for regular people.
Yeah. But it was also fun watching the government employees, government agents, or I guess IMF agents try to find Ethan, but his team was jacking with all the cameras and switching faces on people in real time, which was hilarious.
Yeah. Which is it though? Is it hilarious?
It was hilarious.
It was kind of funny. It's kind of scary though, because you can probably actually do that.
Yeah.
But then the AI was kind of doing that too.
Mm-hmm.
The bomb, like this, the AI's plan seems overly complex.
Okay.
Because why pretend to have a fake bomb?
Because it needed more samples of Benji's voice.
What do you mean? There's on comms like all the time.
Yeah, I know.
AI could hack their comms.
Right. Again, I
And it
agree with
did.
you. But they said that it needed more either voice stuff from Benji
Trying
or
to
to
learn about him.
understand his motivations.
Yeah.
So,
So I don't know. But why?
I have no idea why.
To what end? Yeah,
Again,
it did make
I
sense.
don't know.
But yeah, the plan just seemed overly complex, which I guess is fine. But when you're like really thinking about it, you're like, I don't quite get it.
Yeah.
But
yeah, so Tom Cruise and Haley Atwell's characters kind of work together for a little while, and then Grace ends up making off with the key.
Well, she's in it for herself the whole time. Yeah. Anyway.
But then Ethan, Luther, and Benji have to split off and go their own way. So somehow he figures out.
Yeah.
Exactly where she's going.
And like, where were they, at Paris or?
Yeah, so they ended up in Paris.
Yeah, that's when they have the car chase scene.
Mm-hmm. Which was a fantastic
mini.
Yeah, that was a fantastic chase sequence.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Especially like he's driving the car one-handed because she's handcuffed the wrong hands together.
Yeah.
Um. So yeah, so we have the car chase scene, and then she still keeps screwing him over.
Mm-hmm. And he
Like he
keeps wanting to
saved her
save her.
life like dozens of times on this car chase scene, and then she
Mm-hmm.
screws him over and almost kills him.
Yeah.
Um, that was also like kind of about her character that kept annoying me was she kept like shooting herself in the shooting herself in the foot for no reason
Mm-hmm.
until the very end when she grows a conscience.
Yeah.
Didn't make any sense. That didn't make any sense. Yes, you accept and then you keep the thing.
Yeah.
Yes, I'll keep your $100 million. You know what? I'm not giving you the key though. Piss off.
Yeah.
So like she's obligated to give him the key after they've get like you're a thief.
Yeah.
What are you? Whatever. Fine. You have a conscience now. I get it. Whatever. Um. Okay. So what I the only time they only did it once in this movie though um was when they make a plan. They show you the plan going flawlessly,
Uh-huh.
and then something happens, and then they have to change the plan.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much every Mission Impossible movie. That's like a staple.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but the only thing that wasn't in this movie that it may have been, but I either missed it or wasn't to my satisfaction. Is like the intense, um, the first Mission Impossible movie, like where he's like dangling from the
Okay.
roof.
Yeah.
Like it's a super intense scene, but it's a slow scene. It's a slow build up,
Okay.
and it's like super focused and intense. But I don't really think they had that kind of scene.
No, I don't think there was in this one.
Everything here was
Just fast paced, go, go, go,
yeah,
go, go.
explosions. Yeah. So um the train.
Uh-huh.
The train was cool. Okay, but before the train. I like when like Benji always gets Ethan to do things that he wouldn't normally agree to.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, you're getting real close." Like when he's leading through the woods, I
Up
found a
to the
way.
mountain. Yeah.
and then Ethan's like, he's like, "I've been going up for a while. Is there a down coming up pretty soon?"
Oh yeah, it's coming up.
Oh yeah. uh, I guess that's a staple in the movies now since Benji's been in the movies. But
Yeah.
um,
But yeah, that scene where he leaps off or motorcycles off the top of the mountain
yeah,
was intense. I enjoyed it.
yeah. Apparently he did that
Like 6 or 7 times.
okay. Yeah, I was gonna say it was between 5 and 10 times he had to do that scene. Well, he didn't have to. He was like, "Let's do it again."
We got to make sure it's perfect.
Yeah. Okay. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But I mean, is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're Tom Cruise, you get like the best guy in the world to pack your chute. I wonder how much the insurance policy is on Tom Cruise.
It's
That's
got
got
to
to
be
be
a
massive.
ton. Yeah.
Yeah. Like if that chute don't open and he dies, does somebody get $1 billion? Like,
I mean, probably.
right? Like that's um anyway. So yeah, he does the jump off the mountain, gets on the train.
At just the right time in the right spot to save Grace.
Yeah, like slams through the window. That's right. He slammed through the wall or the window.
Whole lot of
Um,
coincidence right there. But okay.
yeah, this is a movie coincidence. Yeah. Um, I don't remember. Okay. So they've jacked up the train so it can't stop and it's out of control, and then they've got bombs on the bridge. Why did the bombs need a timer delay?
I have no idea.
That didn't make sense. But because they could have just blown the bridge at any time,
Right.
assuming. But the train, like the train part was cool, where they're like having to climb up the train and escape the car
The
before
falling
it
cars.
falls. Like,
Yeah.
that was actually kind of cool and kind of like um, an intense scene. Until the last car, it
Okay.
didn't fall. I was like, why didn't that one fall?
Yeah. All the other ones fell, but that one just
Yeah.
hung out.
Yeah, that one's like that one. This one's just built better. How? What? I don't understand. Because I was totally expecting it to fall, but them to be, them to do something crazy and get out of it, right?
Yeah.
But then it didn't fall, and I'm like, okay. And then the, what's her name shows up. Paris?
What? Paris? Yeah.
Yeah.
Played by the same lady, Palm, whose last name I can't pronounce, who played Mantis in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Who had been a bad guy the entire movie and then comes and saves both Ethan and Grace.
Because he didn't kill her when he could have. He let her live.
Okay.
And then her boss did
then
try
her
to
boss
kill her.
turned out.
So, yeah. So, like that was a self-fulfilling prophecy of the entity.
Right, 100%.
Because the entity could have been like, oh, she's going to join Ethan's side, so now we're going to kill her. Not necessarily.
Yeah. Like if Gabriel hadn't tried to kill her, she might not have.
Right. Because just because your enemy doesn't kill you doesn't mean they're your friend.
Right.
But then she still dies.
No, she was alive at the end of the movie.
Was she?
Yeah. Because after Ethan escaped and they're going through, they made a point to say she still has a pulse.
Oh, the CIA guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's right. I remember.
I know it's right.
It's a long movie, man. There's a lot to remember. I've only watched it once.
Yeah.
And the same thing with those two guys. Like they're out to get him, and their orders are to basically kill on sight.
Mm-hmm.
Get the key, kill on sight.
Right.
They've had multiple opportunities to kill him. They haven't. He ends up saving, or the one guy is it the Dagus guy?
I don't know, dude.
I don't remember. It's kind of hard to tell. Little bitty pictures. The one guy is like having doubts about why they're after him and questioning, but the Briggs, he's still kind of a little bit of a hardliner on that until Ethan saves his life on top of the train.
Yeah.
And then he's like, fine, we'll be friends. We're cool now.
Yeah.
I rather enjoyed the line or the interaction between him and Kittredge in the train.
Okay.
Like Kittredge is going through the train, or Briggs is going through the train, like getting everybody to move, which was hilarious. Because the other guy was like speaking to them in French or whatever.
Yeah.
And trying to get to go back. He just pulls out his gun.
He shows up and shoots a gun and starts yelling at people to move. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then they find
efficiency
Kittredge.
Versus niceness.
Right. Like, let's move. You're going to die. Come on. He sees Kittredge and he's like, what are you doing here, sir? And he's like, I'm not here. And he's like, okay. And then when he's coming back, he's like, since you're not here, you don't need to.
You don't need to know what's going on. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need to. Yeah, it's like, okay, this is kind of funny.
Yeah, so I mean, the movie ends with Ethan having the one key, or the entire key.
The whole key.
Gabriel being mad because he lost it, and yeah, just set up for the next movie basically.
Yeah. And Ving or Luther went off somewhere to start developing a program to kill the entity, but he needs the source material. So, but
Yeah,
he's
something
offline
like that.
until, or he's off grid
Yeah.
until, because everything. So this entity is so, I don't know, expansive that it's infested every computer in the world.
Mm-hmm.
That seems, that's the part that seems more unbelievable.
Okay.
It's like how can its consciousness, because it's conscious, how can its consciousness be everywhere?
Yeah.
And yeah, cuz and how can it formulate complete thoughts? Because if your mind is spread out all over the world,
Uh huh.
connections aren't instantaneous. In
Yeah.
our minds, our connections are near instantaneous.
Right.
So it would have to it would think like a, I don't know, like a squirrel.
I mean, maybe.
It would form a thought over here and then it would get other information
Mm-hmm.
eventually and then form another, like it doesn't make sense. Um Whatever.
But yeah, I mean, we kind of complained about some of the stuff in the movie, but overall, it is a great movie. It's a fun
Yeah.
time at the theater.
It's the yeah. It's I
So
hate AI. I'm sorry. I just hate AI and I'll never stop hating it. It's just but I love Tom Cruise movies cuz
yeah.
they're freaking fun.
So I mean, it's a solid movie all around. Definitely worth a watch. So if you're on the fence about
For
going to
sure.
see it, go see it. It's a fun time. You may not have the same nitpicks that Brandon and I
Yeah,
do.
we're super
So
nitpicky, so that's yeah. To not be nitpicky, it's a really good movie and it's
it's just a movie where you go shut off your brain and have some fun.
yeah. And it's probably, I don't know. This one's probably top 3 Mission Impossible movies.
Okay.
It's kind of hard to say because we don't have the full story. Are we calling this 2 movies or 1 movie?
I mean, this is a full movie, but the storyline is broken into 2 parts.
Right.
So it is a complete movie on its own. The story just isn't complete. So it's like reading a book, like the Lord of the Rings books. You have Lord of the Rings, then you got the Two Towers, and then you've got Return of the King. Each one is a complete book, a complete narrative by itself, but you don't know what the full story is until you get to the end of the third book.
How do books work again?
Anyway, you got what I was saying, so.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know. Yeah. So, I guess we'll have to. On its own, the movie is good.
Right.
We'll have to evaluate the whole story once we get the second part of the story.
Correct.
Um, do you know when the second one's coming out?
I don't know. I haven't looked that up.
Yeah, I haven't really seen anything about it. I'm assuming next year, next
I would
summer.
think next year. I would think
2024?
they're moving pretty quick on it, but
Yeah.
that would only make
See
sense.
if I can find anything real quick.
Yeah, so do you have any? Yeah, it says
June next
2024.
year.
Yeah.
June 2024.
So
Cool.
do you have any closing thoughts on this one?
They need to make more movies like this.
Okay.
We don't. There was no real political messaging, no forced nonsense. Um, it's a movie that anybody can enjoy.
Right.
Like, even though I was nitpicking a bunch of stuff, I enjoyed everything that happened in the movie.
Yeah.
I just hate AI, so I get hung up on that. So, um, uh, but this is the kind of movie that you can watch, over and over again,
Right.
and just be entertained, have fun, see some cool stuff. Um, and one of the cool things about these movies is that they actually go to these locations. Like, it's not CGI, so they're going to real locations, filming real things, doing
Yeah.
practical stunts, which is few and far between but here it's done at a really high level,
Mm-hmm.
and it produces a really good product.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a really good product. I mean, I enjoyed it, so I think that pretty much covers everything. So if you guys made it to the end of the video, make sure to go ahead and hit that like button anyway, even though Brandon said to do it earlier. If you'd like to,
I said to subscribe earlier, not like it. You can't
okay,
like something you haven't watched. You've watched it now, so you must like it.
you have to like it. Also, go ahead and make sure to subscribe so you know when we post new content.
But you were already supposed to do that, so
Yeah.
why wait? um Sundays, no spoiler reviews. Mondays, spoiler reviews. Thursdays, television, comic books, whatever we want to talk about, kind of stuff. Um, yeah. All right. Good talk. See you later. Bye.